Hi, everybody. We're here. I don't know how many of you are going to make it over. I just did a show with Scott Sun, Scorpio Sun Tarot, and that was a lot of fun. And I don't know if enough people have patience to come over. Well, there's somebody's coming over. Got 3 of you in here, and we're going to be doing the 5th day of the countdown. And I'm going to discuss that with you right now. Let's see. Getting cards in the box so they don't spill on the floor. Because when you drop a tarot deck, it's 78 card pickup, not 52 card pickup. Okay, today is dun, 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 the 5th day, integration and inner balance. And this is bringing light and shadow into harmony. And I think it's a really important lesson for us to learn. You were awakened in day 1 you awakened, you cleared, you expanded, and now we're going to be working on getting alignment. We were aligned, and now we integrate ourselves in this phase of moving through the equinox. The equinox teaches us that balance, having a 50-50 world of half night and half day, it's balance, but not perfection. It's a movement between opposites. It's a time for us to think about how light and shadow can be in conflict, but they're in a conversation. And I think this is the part that so many people lose about the about cycles of light and dark. It's one of the things that I was just talking to Scott about. You know, he lived in a very dark world. He lived in a very limited Christian world and woke up and found himself in a very different place. And how did he let his light in without feeling threatened? How did he understand being an empath without being threatened? And today, what parts of me are ready to stand together instead of apart? And that's what this day is about. What do we want to build and grow out of the gardens we've created? And the stones that support harmony and heart alignment, and I'm going to show them to you because I love these stones. I couldn't find my runes. I was going to try and read runes today, but these are green adventuring. They can be very light, they can be very dark, but they're green adventuring. And that's for gentle expansion, heart healing, and optimism. We also have over here, we have moss agate to connect us to the world's cycles, smoky quartz, and moss agate is over here kind of with the sodalite. That was yesterday. And we've got the smoky quartz, which is transmutation from heaviness into stability. Got that crystal. And then on top of it, the crystal for today is rose quartz. And that's a big piece of rose quartz. You can see how big it is next to my hand. These crystals are here to help us blend energies rather than to push them away. So we're doing the bridge to the balance. And we're going to look at a reading that shows us the bridge across to balance. And on the left side, we have smoky quartz, which is the shadow and the past. In the center, we have the green adventuring, which is the integration point. And to the right, we have the light, the moss agate, and the growth. And above it all, we have the rose quartz for our higher heart support. How would you work if you pulled these stones out or pulled out some equivalent to them, whatever stones move you that way? You sit them down, you sit quietly with your layout in front of you. Place your hands over the center stones. And I put them in this little pink box because they were really hard to see in the garden. And seeing them was important. Put your hands over the center stone. Breathe slowly and evenly. And then you reflect on, what am I still holding on to that feels heavy? And what am I reaching for that's hopeful? And how can both of those exist in the world without conflict? Let this energy that's coming from these stones bridge, not be stuck, not either be drawn over here or drawn over here, but be in the middle. And that's the reading if you wanted to do it with crystals. So I know there's an ice maker putting ice in the thong. It's okay. We forgive you. She has to drink a lot of water all day. She just always has to drink it during my show. Okay, now we're going to do a 3-card layout if you wanted to work with cards. And we're going to use the Fairy Tarot because I just think they're so perfect for being here in the garden. Okay, and the first card we're going to put down is, what am I integrating? What supports me in this process? And what does balance look like going forward? Because it's one thing to say you want to be balanced, but knowing what it's going to look like and feel like when you get balanced is another thing altogether. And this is for the collective. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Celtic Seer. The 7 of Autumn. And have the patience and don't worry. This is your card for what am I integrating? We're trying to bring things into our life without obsessing about them, without worrying about them. Take the time to rest and plan what your next steps will be. A prudent investment will turn into something wise. It's like the 7 of coins. The middle card, what supports the process? Ace of Summer. That's the Ace of Cups. And that is, open your heart to love, the beginning of new intimate relationships, and the rebirth of a current one. The awakening of psychic abilities and spiritual enterprises. So that's what's going to help you support this process of coming to terms with the things you want to awaken. Now, the last card is, what balance looks like moving forward. Queen of Spring. Isn't she pretty? And the Queen of Spring, believe in yourself. Wonderful people want to help you. Believe that. Maintain and balance between work and home life. And I think that's something I spent over an hour last night talking to a client who's in a high-end career, and she's had a lot of push on her. And about 6 months ago, she talked to the company and she said they're selling part of what she did. And so she's been working with those negotiations, but she's been doing her work at home. And she said going home was so good for her, to go home and be with her 8-year-old daughter, to be with her son, who will be a junior in high school next year, and watching them grow and feeling them grow. So I'm talking to this card tells me that that conversation was not in vain. I'm going to have to take a picture of it and send it to her. But that integration is not a one-time event. It's a living practice. Allow yourself to be both the question and the answer by not choosing between the light or the shadow, but using the elements out of both that can help you move forward. You are becoming a space that holds time for both of them. And the mantra for this day, what we've been building up to, is, I honor all parts of myself. I am whole and I am becoming. And I am becoming things with consideration. You can lay down your 3 cards for yourself and see how it works for you. These feel very right for me. What we said at the beginning today is what parts of me are ready to stand together instead of apart. And that's what we need to do. It's a day of integration. It's a day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. I can't tell you how many wonderful. St. Patrick's was not a big day in Dallas when I was an adult. It was a big day when I was a kid in Illinois. And eventually I became part of the group that would party every St. Patrick's Day. And our little parade used to start on an off street. And we would we'd go down to Nick Farley's bar. Nick Farley, it was the NFL, and he got sued by the NFL because of the name of his bar, but he'd had his name longer than they had the thing for NFL, so they had to pay him money. That's when Nick closed the NFL because he got a lot of money for that. And he went home and took his money and went home. I want to pull one more vibrational card for everyone. I'm going to pull a crystal card for everybody. And we're going to... So I've given you 2 ways to work with the energy of today. And one of them is to pull stones. And the stones I pulled, in case you want to make a mental note of them, was smoky quartz, green adventurine in the middle, here's a really pretty piece of green adventurine. Adventurine can be blue, it can be yellow, it can be red. Today we're using the green because it's for growth, for our own personal growth. And sodalite on them to look at our dark side, and it didn't fall too far. But I also pulled some moss agate. See if I can hold on to the moss agate. Apparently moss agate wants to be. Moss agate's a stone that looks like life. And then on top of all the stones, I had this beautiful piece of rose quartz, which was a gift from a guy who was selling an estate. And I went and helped him figure out which rocks were what and what was worth what. And he gave me that rose quartz for coming and helping him figure out. He said, there's a bunch of stones here. Thank you, Sandra. I'm glad you think I look younger every day. I'm losing a little bit of weight, but I don't think that's why I'm looking. It's supposed to make you look craggier, but I'm not. Okay, so. Oh, the moonstone. And the moonstone is the moon in the major arcana in this deck. And we all know what the moon is about. It's about emotions. Okay, we're getting there. I promise. Okay, the moon. The moon appears in the major arcana between the star and the sun. This is when we go into the astrology part of the major arcana. The moonstone is very calming and has a balancing effect. We got another balance stone, guys, making us conscious of our feelings. It shows our feminine and passive and dreamy side, which oftentimes gets neglected because it's not the out there dynamic part, right? Our intuition and benefits come from this stone. So that's the card I pulled. The reading I gave you was spot on about moving forward and how to balance yourself. And we're going to see what's going to happen tomorrow. Come back tomorrow and see what it's going to be like. Be back at 2. And I also post these on Substack. If you haven't gone to see me on Substack, go look. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, like, and share. And share this with share this with your friends and people you think might be interested in using tarot and other than talking about politics or is this the one questions. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff we can do with tarot. I love having you, all of you here. Yes, I'm going to, okay, this is good. Jupiter went direct in Cancer. The ruler is the Moonstone, 310. It's favorable to the U.S. Thank you all for coming by. Thank you for sharing a little bit of your St. Patrick's Day with me. I realize some of you, the only thing you want to march down the street with is a snow shovel, but it's supposed to get better. It's 31 here today, and it's supposed to be in the upper 80s by the end of the week. So it's the weather's going to do what the weather's going to do. Bye, everybody. See you tomorrow.